Is this Duck Duck Stream?
No, we're not streaming right now. We're just recording. I don't get it.
Well, there's a picture of a duck at the top.
Oh, no, this is StreamYard, and that's their logo. But you see, I can put like a logo there, or really anywhere.
I don't want a logo there.
I don't know if I have do I have a blank MyMac?
Haven't you got a G-Men one?
I thought I did. That's transparent.
I thought you had a G-Man.
MyMac logo.
Oh, I must stop yawning.
But tomorrow, I'm doing that big trip. That's not it. No, and the weird thing was I had one. Where is that? That's in MyMac Docs. iCloud Drive. Documents. MyMac. What? Users, documents. Documents. Oh, there it is. So confusing. Why do things have to be so hard? MyMac Docs. Oh, I wonder if this is going to have... Ooh, this may have the whole logo broken up. Okay, how's that for a logo?
The thing is, I have to do this.
I thought, you know what? I would probably have to do an overlay instead of a logo if I wanted it down like here in the center part between us. But what I need is one that just says, MyMac Podcast with no background and be relatively small. I'll have to work on that. Are there any other ones here?
We want the G-Men.
Are any of these? Oh, here we go. MyMac logo 1. Where is that one? MyMac. Oh, that's in DaVinci Resolve. What the? Movies, DaVinci Resolve. DV Media. What? MyMac Mini X. Oh, I'm looking on the wrong drive. God damn it. Why are things so hard? MyMac Mini
Stop
X.
trying to justify the title.
Who, me? What? Oh, there it is. DV Media. MyMac Media. I think that's it. There. How's that? It's better, but it's still not the G-Man.
Why do I keep moving?
I don't know. The window doesn't change.
It's weird.
Holy crap, you get a lot of exercise in. How dare you? Making me feel bad.
7 miles today.
I went 7 miles last month. You still putting your stuff in?
I've finished.
Oh, okay.
I've been done. I was done before we came online.
I'm looking to see if there's anything else that I need to do. I don't think we do. I got a couple of Skype phone calls, but I think it was crap. Nobody left a message. All right, you ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right, do you want to do the title or the intro?
Hang on. I think. Do you want me to do the intro? The way you've written the last line?
Yeah, you should probably do the intro.
Okay.
Anything there that's weird? Are you good?
Just correcting your English.
Somebody has to. Oh.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Big shock. We're doing it different this week.
Shocker. Are you taking the logo off now?
It is a shocker. Yeah, I'll put it back on once we're back together. 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
It's the way you went.
Jog on. All right. I'm going to do the title.
When you're ready.
Okay. Oh, let me do a stop and save here in Hindenburg. Stop. Save. Stop it, you. Now, remember, this is picking up both of us at the same time, as far as the video
Oh, are
goes.
you saying that you can't cut me out on this one?
I cannot. I cannot.
That's a bit of a mistake, isn't it? On your
Well,
part?
there's nothing unless I grab the audio from Hindenburg after. All right, here we go.
So anything I do, I can now cock you up completely.
Yes, it just completely cocks everything up.
Cockamamie.
It's a cock in the yard. I don't even know what that means.
Okay.
All right.
I won't.
Sure you won't. He is.
Okay.
Shut up!
I will. When you're ready, I've got all night.
Yeah, okay. MyMac Podcast 841. Must it be so complicated? Blink, 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 blink. Yes.
Now, if you watch my video, you might be able to overlay your audio.
What?
What? So have you got any recording of me doing that?
Yes. Of
Okay.
what, all the stuff you were doing before? Yes.
No, when you were doing your title.
No, actually, I don't have any video
Oh, that's a
of
shame.
you doing that.
That's a shame because I went.
Nope, not there.
That's a shame because it might be that you could actually overlay your audio on my video.
Oh, that would be funny. Just completely blow people's minds.
Yeah. But now I can't do it because I was doing it as you did it. So now I've got to have it in my ear to do it properly. Anyway.
So whenever you're ready.
Oh, it's my turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
MyMac Podcast 841,
right
as Guy said. No problem at all. So life was so much simpler back in the day. You grab a microphone. Do you want me to start again now?
Yeah,
you've got to do the video.
I've got to be quiet.
Yeah, you have, because you've got the editing to do.
Yes, so I do.
You can cock this up as much as you like, but whatever you cock up means that you've got to.
And then I'm completely fucked.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's mighty MyMac Podcast. Yes, life was so much simpler back in the day. You'd grab a microphone, turn on something to record yourself, and you were good to go. Now it's all about social media, multi-channel DAWs, recording into a live stream. I've got no idea what this means, while monitoring chat and trying to keep yourself from getting strikes that could collapse the whole house of cards. Oh, and still trying to be interesting. Or maybe that's just Guy.
It might be. It very well might be. And
how are you doing, Guy?
I'm doing spawnrific.
Right, I'm going to let you go through your piece, but then I might just ask you a question at the end.
Okay. Well, before we get started, before I even go into that, we should tell people that we're actually trying to find a new way to record the video this week that may or may not lead to something else further down the line. Probably not. But it just may. Yeah. So, because typically when we do this, we record in Zoom or we record in Skype, and we had all this other stuff going on in order to get the video. And I had a service that I'll go into in the second section. I'm not going to go too much into it now.
Was it legal?
And it's completely illegal.
Oh, good. As long as
nothing that we're doing on the service is illegal.
Okay. Well, as long as the service itself that you was having was legal, that's fine.
It's legal-ish. You know, it's
legalese.
Legalese. Yeah. So with all that in mind, we're not going to go live just yet. We may at some point into the future, but not this week, and not without a whole lot of discussion between Cass and me, and who else I don't know who else may be involved, because the way that we do this show and the things that we do and the things that we say, we don't necessarily want that stuff to always go out live. We really don't.
I don't know. It's all pretty clean and straightforward.
Sure.
We never swear. We never curse. We never have a go at anybody.
No.
It's just,
No. Countries, yes. The people in countries, yes. But not like individuals. It's like, oh, those French.
Actually, I've got to say, last night I was shouting for the French quite a lot, to be honest with you.
For them or against them?
For them, yes. I don't know
who
why.
Were they playing? They were playing somebody in something.
They were playing the Welsh at rugby, and I don't know why I would be doing that, but I was, for some reason, just saying, but yeah, that's now upset every single Welshman that's going to.
Could it be that the Welsh beat the English in rugby?
I don't care about that. Well, I do care about that, but I don't care about that now because that's history. But it was a good game, actually. It was a really good game. The French beat the Welsh just with a score that actually went into kind of overtime. In American football, when the clock ticks to 0, if the ball has already left the quarterback's hand and is in mid-flight,
it still counts.
It still counts if they then catch it. Well, the same thing had happened in rugby, but actually in rugby it can go on for quite a long time as long as you keep the play live, even though the clock may have gone into overtime, as it were. It's gone past the last minute of time or last second of time. If you keep the ball live, you could play for another 10 minutes.
I don't know if you could. That would be
I actually reffed a game. We're going completely off song here. Yeah. I actually refereed a game, and it was Derby versus Bedford Athletic.
Oh, that's always a good game.
And Bedford Athletic were losing by 2 points, and if you get a drop goal, you get 3 points.
Bedfordites.
Right? Those Athleticans. They actually got the ball in their half.
Hold on a second. Did you just say Athleticans?
Yes.
I like that. We're going to market that. Athleticans. The Bedfordites Athleticans. I like it.
Anyway, they played for 5 minutes, got a drop goal, and won the game by 1 point. But anyway, that's what happened last night. It was a good, exciting game, and the French won it. And okay, it was good. It was good. It was enjoyable.
Did they go oh at the end of the game?
I wouldn't like to say. I've already upset the Welsh.
So obviously they did. That's how that works, right there.
Oh, we won the game.
We won the game.
We are so much in trouble.
We are just
and you don't want to go live?
Yeah, well, this goes out live. Well, not live, but it does go out pre-recorded every single week. And I'm seriously surprised that the French have not launched some kind of strike on us. It's because they seem it's like first it's the French, okay, then we occasionally have a go at the Germans, sometimes at the Swedish or the Norwegians or something like that. We
discriminate. I think
we make fun of everybody.
Yeah, even ourselves. Well,
yeah. I mean, last week I was making fun of people in Texas, which can be a very dangerous thing to do.
We've been doing that for how many years, Guy?
Many. Oh, nice segue. Very, very good. This month, even though we weren't really talking about it, this month is the start of our 11th year of doing the MyMac.com podcast, guys.
Unbelievable.
For 1 hour a week for over 10 years.
1 hour? Is that all 1 hour?
Well,
you say 1 hour?
1 hour. Well, about 1 hour of released content. However, that usually means 2 to 3 hours of us actually talking about
rubbish,
whatever stuff that we don't want to live cast. Bringing it all the way back around again. That's how that works.
Well done. You did a very good job there.
Yeah. So, now we usually record on a Saturday, but we're recording on a Sunday today, and it's going to kind of put some pressure on me because I've got to get this done today after we finish recording.
Why is that, Guy?
Well, because now we're finally getting back to the stuff that's actually in the show notes. Damn it, Jim. Tomorrow, I've got a friend at work who, for family reasons, his wife's father is ill. They're moving to Pennsylvania. So, both he and I live in relatively the same area, and we have about a 20 to 25 minute drive to work. This is going to slightly increase his commute time, Gaz, just a little bit. It's basically going to go from 20 to 25 minutes to about 3 hours.
Right.
However, because of, silver lining, because of COVID and other things, most of what we're doing now is remote. So he can work from basically almost everywhere or anywhere. So, but he's got a bunch of different cars. He's got 3 different cars that he has to move from this area up to Pennsylvania. And so myself and him and another friend from work, we're going to meet up at about 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning and do this drive in 2 of his cars with me following in my car all the way up there, drop those cars off, and then we come all the way back in my car. So but again, it's still going to be fun, because just like you guys, we're not really going a lot of places these days. No. So we kind of go out of our way to find reasons to go someplace. It was like, oh, I've got a hangnail. Well, I've got to go to Florida to see my doctor for that, so off we go to Florida for a hangnail.
Sounds like an Ian Jury song, that does. Reasons to be cheerful.
Yeah. So find those reasons. That's how that works. So that's the plan, though, Gaz. We're going to drive those cars up and then come back in another car, and everyone will be happy.
I'm so pleased. And what has this got to do with the Mac? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Perfect. As long as I was just clarifying that because I just wanted to be sure.
Well, one of the guys is a Mac user, and he was the one who I was helping set up his. God, he had a 2008 iMac that he was trying to set up to work remotely. And after looking at this thing and working on it here at the house, I was like, no. just get a Mac made sometime in this century.
You said to him, I've got a response for you, but it's not from me. It's from someone who used to work at Apple. And he said,
no.
Yeah. And if anyone would know, it would be Steve Jobs.
Yes, it would.
Isn't that right, Steve?
I haven't got a yes.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, see, he knows. What about you?
So this week it was just under a 30-mile plus bike ride on track and road. Really enjoyable. Did a time lapse, but it wasn't as good as a video though. I have been videoing the rides, and I thought, well, the video is eating up a lot of battery, and the time lapse did last longer, of course, but it's a bit too jerky, so I won't be doing that again. So now I've got to work out if I can get a battery pack that I can set up on the bike so I can link it up to
what are you using to record? Is it like one of those sports cams?
I'll show you.
Okay.
It's a little Hero 5 session.
Oh, does that have like stabilization and all that other happy stuff?
Yes, it does. But obviously you can't stabilize easily a time lapse, but it can stabilize
video. Because it's kind of like
yeah. But it can stabilize the video, it does it really well actually. But because it's quite small, obviously doing the stabilization and video at a reasonable quality for 2 or 3 hours is pushing it a little bit, especially in the cold weather. Cold weather. So I might have to see if I can set something up. Anyway.
Yeah, but 30 miles, that's
all right.
I'm guessing that Wilf was not with you.
Wilf was not with me, no, because he would not be running behind me like that.
At some point you turn around and it's like, well, I still got the leash, but
no dog. 30, that's track and road though, so that makes it a little bit more difficult because
none of that he's not a big dog either.
Well, I was talking about me and riding a bike, but there you go.
You're not a big dog either.
I'm not. No, I have to do many more revolutions with my little legs to get to the same. Anyway, I haven't been using or trying DaVinci Resolve this week. We'll have to set up some time on MyMac aside for that.
Isn't that a great program though? I love that program.
I do. Yeah. I've just got to get into the process, flow of using it. Like a lot of people whilst working, I use Microsoft Home User pack. There's a home user deal that you can get for Office. However, I cannot continue that now for obvious reasons. Well, not for obvious reasons.
Is the year about over?
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's starting to ask me questions. So I'm starting.
Are you still with that particular company? The program said rather viciously.
Yeah. Anyway, so I started looking at the price of Microsoft and I thought, hang on a minute. I do have a rather complicated, with lots of links in it and graphs and notes and formulas, Excel sheet. So before deciding whether I really do need Office, I moved it into Numbers. And other than a few adjustments, Numbers pretty much got it covered. So I'm
really
not sure that I'll advise this for all, but so far so good moving over to from Excel to Numbers. Now, I know the limitation of Numbers in comparison to Excel for any Excel geeks out there. Do not do it. Just do not do it. But it's got a lot more capabilities and transferability. That's really a word, from Excel into Numbers, and we're quite pleased.
Full of new words.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased. So I'm going to live with it for a little bit, but see how I get on.
Well, there's also. I
would like to just say one thing
too.
Yeah, I'd just like to say one thing though. The custom bar across the top of Numbers, I've got to see if I can actually customize that, because there's a few things and few actions which I use on a real regular basis, and I want to be able to get them up on the toolbar so I can use those easily, because at the moment I've got to open up the what do they call it, the format page, and then it's go into there. But really, I want some of those items actually on the toolbar, and I don't know whether I can do that yet. I haven't looked into it, so I need to do that. But yeah, I'm thinking, well, perhaps I don't need Microsoft Office just yet. So we'll see.
Well, because lately, because there hasn't been a whole lot of hard news related to Apple with new stuff, we've been searching for a topic, maybe talking about Microsoft Office versus some of the potential alternatives would be a good topic to go into.
Yeah, because I used to try and use is it Open Office? I think it was Open Office.
Yeah, well, there's a ton of them out there.
Yeah, but again,
some of them are even like Java based. You just run it in a browser.
Yeah. So we could perhaps look at that. I really, that's not sure that we're expert enough in that, but
yeah. Well, I would consider that to be worthy of news.
Yes. So shall we jump over to some snippets?
We probably should.
We could go to Gaz's snippets. Hope you heard that.
I did.
Good. Okay. The UK iOS app economy has a breakthrough year and grows to support 330,000 jobs, says Apple. No. I think they'll probably quantify it, so that's fine. However, there was another story that came out which says the App Store supports over 830,000 jobs in UK, Germany, and France, says Apple. So,
would you remember what we were talking about last week? With all of the stuff, all these countries starting to line up and looking to take a bite out of Apple and Apple's money.
Apple. Very good. I see what you did there.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden,
no one else
all
saw
of this information.
Even you, but
no, it was completely off the cuff. It's like, wow, is that guy being clever?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
No, the core of Guy is not that clever.
That's right. Don't take a bite out of the core. That's where the seeds are. But all of a sudden you have like all of these numbers related to how many jobs are being created, and almost all this information is coming from Apple. So I just thought that was kind of apropos of nothing. I'll shut up now.
I thought that was apropos of nothing. Apple Music is adding a new City Charts daily playlist with iOS 14.5. Not used it, not tried it.
Yeah.
Probably won't. Foxconn to build electric vehicles in North America by 2023, but calls Apple Car deal still a rumor.
Well, and the great thing about that is they can keep saying that because building a car factory is like takes no time at all.
Yeah,
it's like someone gets up one morning and says, I think I would like to make a large building that makes cars, and I want it done by lunch.
Yeah. Right on it, sir. I'm on it.
Done. Already done.
Apple agrees to offer government-approved pre-install apps for devices in Russia.
Yeah, those, and I'm sure they're all real quality apps too.
I'm not saying anything.
Sciencey papers.
Well,
actually, that's the wrong accent.
Yeah, it was a bit. Yeah, I don't think this is too much of a problem because this happens around the world anyway. To be honest with you, but it's big news because it's Russia and because it's Apple. So, Apple Car could see 3 times farther at night by using infrared headlights.
Of course, nobody else could see it, but whoever's driving the car, and because it's actually being driven by the car itself.
Aren't Apple an ethical company?
Yes.
Here for the good of humankind.
Well, and their own pockets.
It's their own pockets. That's what does it then. Let's not have safer cars because we've got the patent on seeing farther at night with cars.
Yeah.
Apple brand loyalty hits all-time high as Samsung loyalty dives.
But the new Galaxy 21 just came out.
And so the Apple brand loyalty among smartphone owners has hit an all-time high, according to a survey by Self-Cell. Sell. That's SELLCELL. It shows that 91.9% of iPhone owners plan to buy another iPhone when they next upgrade. And that's up 1.4% from 2019.
Well, we've discussed this before, and the last numbers that I remember seeing, and this was probably a couple of years ago, was like 85%. And at the time, we were both like, "Wow, 85%!" Those kind of retention numbers in an industry like the cell phone market is amazing.
And it all depends who's doing the survey as well, because that figure could probably go up and down. What you're looking for is, are all of those surveys coming out? There's the analyst coming out at me now. Are all of those surveys that are coming out, are they all trending in the same direction? Because if 2 or 3 are trending in one way and 2 or 3 are trending in a different way, well, then you could probably take the mean line between them, to be honest with you. But anyway.
Well, that's probably what they did, though. They looked at all the users instead of just, well, here are the ones from Europe and here are the ones from the Middle East and here are the ones from Africa.
But I'm talking about all the different surveyors, and because that could mean that they're doing different countries. It could mean they're doing different age types, all of that sort of stuff. Anyway, Google are to lower the Play Store commission to 15% on the first 1 million earned by developers per year. Now,
that sounds familiar.
More later.
Okay.
More later. Yes, it is the same as the Apple situation, but there's more later. Apple might soon have to pay up for Wikipedia data it uses. So information from Wikipedia is used in a variety of places throughout the iPhone, iPad, and Mac. It powers a lot of the data that is fed through the Siri virtual assistant, which I'm sure you're all aware of and seen. Currently, there is no financial relationship in place between Wikipedia and Apple for this information. But that could soon change. And actually, so it should if they're using it, to be honest with you. Siri can now tell you what Oprah's reading, or Oprah, I should say.
What's opera, Doc?
La, 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 la.
If I was Oprah, I would be very concerned that Apple has some kind of device in my house that's saying,
I want to know, Guy. I want to know.
What is she reading now?
Yeah, where she's reading it.
It's behind that locked door. Damn it. Ugh.
Qualcomm completes acquisition of chip startup, which was founded by a former Apple A series architect.
More at some point in history.
Yeah, more at 6. Florida teenager to spend 3 years in prison for a Twitter hack that affected Apple. Now, Guy.
Yeah.
Why was Apple mentioned here?
Because that brings in
click.
So because it was a hack.
You didn't know this. You didn't know this teenager, did you? I mean, it's a Florida
I know every single teenager in Florida, which does not sound very good.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Why is that 60-year-old man talking to teenagers in Florida? I'm not. That's a joke.
Why is the teenager gone to 3 years in prison? Okay. Apple's anti-counterfeit team have targeted over 1 million listings on Instagram and other marketplaces in the past year.
Are we sure that's a counterfeit team?
Now, the issue here is...
Could be a fake.
Oh, very good. Very good. I like it.
It's a fake counterfeit team, which means it's real.
Is that like a double negative? You can't have a double negative.
Oh, my.
I was going to think about that and come out with some comments, but now you've done that, it's completely destroyed it. There's no point. There's really no point. Apple touts progress of 4.7 billion clean energy investment.
Good.
That's a lot of money to spend on Mind you, they could sell if this is something like on wind farms. So in a press release today, Apple touted the significant progress it has made as part of its 4.7 billion green bond. Thanks to the bond, Apple has generated more than 1.2 gigawatts of clean of
Wouldn't that be gigawatts?
Gigawatts, yeah. Removing of clean power, removing an average of 921,000 metric tons of carbon emissions annually. Of course, this is another business for them because in the future they'll start selling this electricity to the grid and to other companies.
They already are, because you look at Apple's headquarters, that huge big donut.
Yeah,
in the middle
which nobody's in, so there's no electricity being used there.
Well, regardless, it's like, where are you going to put a wind farm in the middle of Cupertino that's only going to go to the Apple headquarters that's right there? What they're basically doing is, they're building these big wind farms or these big solar farms or wherever, and it's power going to the grid, and then that's being kind of assigned as credit toward the power that they're sucking up in Cupertino.
Yeah, I get that, but but there are, I think, moving forward, a lot of companies now will actually become power companies if they've got big enough farms producing electricity. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Wonderful. Absolutely. And there are some states in the U.S., certainly, unfortunately, not Florida. Florida is like a whole different thing, where if you put like solar panels, where teenagers get arrested for Twitter hacks, if you put a bunch of solar panels on your house and whatever power it's generating is more than what you consume, more than what you need, you literally start selling that excess back to the company that's going to use it someplace else, which is that. I mean, that's terrific. That's the way it should be. Frankly, why they're even building new homes today without solar panels.
Oh, don't start me. Don't start me. I'm not worried. I'm not so much worried about homes. I'm more when you see these massive, great big warehouses with these massive roofs with nothing on top of them.
Except big air conditioning units, which is sucking down power.
Hello.
Yeah. Or how about these huge high rises with just panes of glass? Are you telling me they can't come up with solar panels that you can see through?
Well, maybe that's a bit more complicated. Let's get the basic sorted first. Anyway, that we really have.
Yeah, this is not the alternate energy podcast.
No, it is not. It's not. The French regulator to probe Apple's upcoming anti-tracking feature. More later. More at 6. Former I'm a Mac actor Justin Long throws shade at M1 Apple Silicon in a new Intel ad campaign. More later.
Traitor.
Well, I'm just going to say one thing. Apparently, that acting is quite an old profession, as is prostitution.
I was going to say, is it the oldest profession?
I didn't say it was the oldest. I was just comparing.
All right, I am going to be quiet.
Google's copy of Adobe's Apple's 15% commission is actually a fairer version. Now, I was going to read a bit more into this, but been busy, or I didn't. So basically, it says they think that the way Google has done it is actually fairer. And it's how Apple should have implemented it in the first place. They're saying that it's a little bit fairer to the way that the smaller developers actually get the payback and the way it affects them.
Okay, but
what?
Where are most of your sales coming from? From the Google Play Store or the iOS App Store? Where are you making more money?
Yeah. Okay. So France refuses to block Apple's big privacy changes. Now, this was the follow-on, really. So the online ad industry has been trying to stymie Apple's latest privacy enhancements by claiming that they amount to an antitrust violation. However, early signs suggest that the effort may be doomed. I tell you, doomed. On Wednesday, the French Competition Authority refused to tell Apple to hold off implementing the changes. Good. Let's hope that this is the start of some common sense in some of these processes. Apple have been hit with a lawsuit from an App Store developer over copycat apps.
Wait a second. Shouldn't they instead be going after the developers of copycat apps instead of Apple?
Well, okay. So in the UK, if you buy a product from a store, retail outlet, and that product has a defect, you don't chase the manufacturer of the product. You have to chase the retailer. And it's kind of a similar thing. You know, the apps are being sold through Apple Store. Now, the app developer may be a so-and-so naughty boy, slap wrist, but you've got to chase Apple for it. So I think that's where they're coming from on that item. Now, they did give... They gave the name of the app developer who's highlighted the problem of scam and copycat apps on the App Store. And his name is Costa... It's Costa Elenethnu.
Is that spelled the way that you say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
His complaint was filed against Apple in Santa Clara County, California, accuses the company of exploiting its control over iOS apps to make billions of dollars in profits at the expense of small application developers and consumers. We'll see what happens on that. It's just lawsuits at Apple. It's like
This week in lawsuits.
It's like pork and cheese, isn't it? They go together. They do, by the way. They do.
Yeah.
Apple
pork and cheese or lawsuits and Apple? Well, both, I guess.
Both.
Yeah.
Apple and cheese. That goes together as well. Apple and cheese, crackers and pork. Do you know what I'm having after this podcast?
All I know is now I'm getting really hungry.
That's what I am as well. These are supposed to be snippets. Apple lightly used the fake March 23rd event to root out leakers. Now, before we just comment on that, my next item is Apple event in April.
Yeah.
Recapping the latest iPad Pros, iPads, and AirTags rumors. So, what's to say that the April event isn't there to root out leakers?
Well, that's yeah. It's like, huh? Do I tell that analyst that's paying me lots of money that what I heard at Apple, or is it fake so that I'll get caught? Oh,
that reminds me. I've got to do my census. I've got to do my census after this.
I never come to my census.
I don't know why that reminded me of that. The comedy series starring Maya Rudolph is coming to Apple TV Plus. No idea who she is.
No idea.
Never met her. Apple CEO Tim Cook can't wait for employees to return to in-person work. I bet he can't. Tim Cook, Craig Federighi, Phil Schiller, and Scott Forstall, if they can find him, is to testify in the Epic versus Apple trial.
That's what it'll be called after Apple buys them.
Yeah, Epic.
Yeah. In the meantime, Scott Forstall still hiding in a shady hotel room.
How do you know he's in a shady hotel room?
Because, like Oprah's book thing, I follow him.
Right. Okay.
All right. I had something there. And
Intel launches heavily based PC versus Mac comparison website. Now, I've got to say, I mentioned it. I was going to say more later, and I was going to do the old actors profession and prostitution profession, but I've kind of done that now. But the guy's got to earn money.
He does.
Right?
He totally does.
He's got to earn money.
And
someone's going to pay him.
Here's the thing. Back when they did the original Mac versus PC commercials and they had John Hodgman as the PC,
yeah,
he was actually a huge Apple fan. He's been using Macs going all the way back to like the 1990s or 1980s, something like that. It was a gig. It really doesn't matter. So if Justin Long is going to get paid big bucks to now sit there and say, well, actually, Apple is blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, whatever, dude. Glad you got work.
Although, actually, I do think in day-to-day use, of this M1 Mac, comparing the day-to-day stuff to the Intel Mac I had previously, I don't think you'd notice a difference.
No.
However, when it comes to the video stuff and some of the heavier stuff, then you see a bit of a difference.
You do.
But in the day-to-day stuff, don't get one for that.
With audio and video, I see a big difference. Even with opening some really processor intensive programs, I see a big difference if those programs have been optimized for the M1.
Yeah. Apple's latest employment figures reveal an increasing diversity. They even employ people who fall asleep. No. Should I have said that? No, that's good. That's good. Yeah. I'm not going to knock it, but that's cool. Apple's what? What are you laughing at?
No, it's like, this is a really hard thing to talk about without just putting your foot so far down in it.
I've been shoveling muck today, No, well, literally.
That's about where I'm getting ready to go if I don't learn how to just be quiet.
Having said that, though, they still have 34% female and 66% male.
Doesn't it that kind of depend on
that's on
what
their leadership,
the jobs are and who applies for those jobs?
Well, yeah, of course it does. But companies are all trying to increase it.
Well, that's fine. That's all good and well. But if you don't have qualified people applying for certain positions, then it doesn't matter. Don't blame a company because people aren't applying for the jobs that are apparently being held.
I'm going to stop you there to move on to the next one.
Yes,
just in case you put your foot really deep in it without a welly on.
I probably already have.
Apple warns the Chinese tech companies not to circumvent the app tracking transparency rules. More later at 6. Gene Munster has said the Macparrot will be.
I was ready.
You was ready. Were you that ready? Gene Munster says.
No, I wasn't going to do it again.
Okay, Mac growth will continue for years, powered by Apple Silicon and remote work.
And then he said,
done.
Apple says that the app tracking transparency policies will be applied globally following reports. This is serious stuff.
I know, I'm sorry.
Will be applied globally following reports that Chinese ad networks are trying to skirt the rules.
Huh. And you know what Apple said to them?
You brazen little hussy, you.
That's exactly what Apple said.
Brazen little hussy. Epic Games founder hits at Apple for promoting Fortnite competitor PUBG. I'm waiting for...
I'm just blinking. Really?
Really? Did he really? And if he did, is he that thick?
And let me and Tim McSweeney, yeah, I still remember your name. Let me ask you something here. All of those times when Apple highlighted Fortnite on the Mac App Store over all of these other games, I don't recall hearing you say, no, Apple, don't highlight us. You should highlight that other company.
The iMac Pro has officially discontinued. It's been removed from Apple's site and no longer available for purchase. We mentioned this last week and possibly in the week before. Yeah. But it's now gone. Zip. Apple partners with restaurants to offer free pizza in celebration of Servant Season 2 finale. Really? Do you want me to read a bit more about this? Okay.
Sure.
Apple is partnering with 2 Los Angeles-based restaurants this weekend. That's this weekend that we're recording, so it's too late if you want to go and get one.
And by the time you hear this, no free pizza for you.
Yeah, to offer free pizza in celebration of the 2nd season finale of the Apple TV Plus show Servant. The promotion pays homage to Jesus Crust, a fictional pizza delivery business in the show. I know. I'm glad I left that in there, though. Apple have been ordered to pay $309 million for infringing a DRM patent. A federal jury in Texas has ordered Apple to pay around $308.5 million to a local licensing firm for infringing a patent related to digital rights management.
So the patent, as I recall, the patent said something like there's a process and then something changes in the process. That's their patent. So yeah, I can totally see how Apple could infringe on that and should pay $300 million.
Well, get this. Okay. PMC, who's the company that's.
Yeah. Is this East Texas or West Texas? Because the juries in those two parts of the state, and see, we don't only make fun of the French and the Germans. Here we are making fun of the Texans, which are much closer to me than the French and the Germans.
They're closer to me.
Yeah.
PMC originally sued Apple in 2015 for allegedly infringing 7 of its patents as part of the legal action. The company claimed Apple infringed its patent with technology including Fair Play, which is used to distribute encrypted content through the company's iTunes App Store and Apple Music. Apple successfully challenged PMC's case at the US Patent Office, but an appeals court revised that decision in March 2020, opening an avenue for a trial to proceed. So,
well, here's the thing. Because their product is so similar. Oh, wait, they don't actually have a product.
Well, they might have.
No, they don't.
Yeah. Okay. Let me move on. Apple have been fined $2 million in Brazil for selling iPhones without chargers.
Well, see but that's 2 million cruzados, which is the Brazilian currency, which basically it's $1.50. So they're good.
Apple
don't hate on me, Brazil. Don't hate on me. It's a joke.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
It's the Peruvians that need to hate on you.
Yeah.
Apple has discontinued its 512 and 1
You're just going to get all of South America.
Will you let me finish?
Yes.
Apple discontinues its 512 gigabyte and 1 terabyte SSD configurations of 4K 21.5 inch iMacs. Do you think there's something coming?
I think they're going to eliminate iMacs altogether because they make no money selling those computers.
I totally agree with you, and that's the end of Gazzy Snippets. I do have, it's not really that funny, but I'll bring it in anyway. It's a Gazzy's link. UK Uber drivers are to get a minimum wage, holidays and pensions, but there is a big catch. But basically, all you people that go out and say, oh, I got an Uber, it's cheap. There is a reason it's cheap.
Yep.
Just think, nothing comes for free, and all these, and it goes back to those copy stuff where Apple found all those companies that were selling fake products.
Yeah.
If you insist on going for some of this stuff, it will continue, and eventually, the developers of good products will disappear because they can't keep
products.
up. Yeah,
right.
They can't keep up and sell against these companies that don't develop, don't bring in new innovations, and just undercut everything. Stuff is cheap for a reason, folks. Think about it.
Yeah. They need to find out what country this stuff is being made in and go and give that country a firm talking to. I'm sure it's in South America. I think it's Peru. That's what I
told you, Peru, that you'd be upset with him. And that's the end of Gazzy's links.
Okay. We're gonna take a little break while the Peruvian Secret Service is starting to try to track me down.
And
I can't be found unless they look in the phone book. I
need to get a drink, I think.
Everyone, please stand by. To stand by. And Gaz and myself will be right back unless Peru finds me first.
Bacon! Bacon! Where's the bacon? I smell bacon! 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 Gotta be bacon! Only one thing smells like bacon! That's bacon! 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 There!
Have you seen that commercial?
No.
Let me do a stop and save here real quick. Stop. And save. Come on, save, damn you. In case you don't know, it's for this brand of dog treats. So what they have is they have a camera set up, and coming off the front of the camera is what looks like a dog nose. So the dog nose is like jerking back and forth, bacon, bacon, I smell bacon. And then he finds and he's like, he comes up to the bag that has the treats in it. He's like, what's it say? I can't read because I'm a dog. It's an old commercial. It's probably going all the way back to the 80s. But I remember the first time I saw that, it just cracked me up. I thought that was so funny.
Those are the good ones.
Those were the good ones. Those were the days, my friend.
The ads, yeah.
We thought they'd never end. God, I hated that song, though. I did not like that song.
Is that Petula Clark?
I don't know. There was a couple songs in the 60s that were like super popular and supposed to be so poignant and so, oh, we're going to learn a lesson from this. There was one about a guy running from the state police in
Mary
Indiana.
Hopkin. Mary Hopkin.
No. It was like,
what do you mean no?
Well, no, it wasn't that particular song. It was Indiana wants me, but I can't go back there. And at the end of the song, as the refrain is playing over and over again, you can hear this guy on a megaphone. This is the police. Give up. We know where you are. And it was so bad. You know who Frank Zappa is?
Yeah.
Frank Zappa made fun of that song in Joe's Garage, where it was the same kind of thing, but in the background, it says, this is the police. Give up, and we won't hurt you or harm you either. And it just goes on and on like that.
Yeah. Was that Joe Penske's garage?
Probably Joe Penske.
Yeah.
He's a race car driver. Or there was a guy named Penske who was a race car driver. And now his name is on the side of rental trucks. Because, race car driving, rental trucks,
pretty much the same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Right.
Wow, your audio is like really high.
Is it? Sorry.
No. I mean, I actually ended up. Oh, and it went back up. I turned both our audios down because I was looking at the levels and it looked like it was a little hot. I don't know why it went back up.
Nice. That was quite a long one, wasn't it?
Yeah. And real, which is, those are the best kind. Anyway, can you turn your audio down just a smidge? One, two, three, four. Or back up from the microphone a little bit. Maybe that's it.
How's that?
That's much better.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's easier to kind of boost it than to try to take away. Because the problem is when it's you've edited audio. You know what happens when you hit those peaks. It's like there's nothing you can do with it to make it any better.
Okay, as long as you've got enough audio loudness from me at the moment. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's creeping up again. Why is Hindenburg doing that?
Well, it's trying to adjust, isn't it? Or automatically.
Yeah. Well,
I hate it when apps do that.
Well, audio MIDI was doing that too. Remember how I'd have to go in and change it almost all the time? Let me see if there is a setting.
So did I.
Preferences. Audio.
I tell you what, I'm going to go and get a beer.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's so cold. We're right near Dell's and water, so
it's pretty convenient.
yeah.
The only thing is that there's apparently some sort of, I don't know, high school.
Yeah, it's quite noisy.
Yeah, there's a school with some exuberant children nearby.
Probably a primary school.
Oh, and George is about to be awesome. Say hi, George. Say hello. No, okay, don't even pay attention. Oh, now you can say hello. Cute little brown dots in their cute little nose.
I like it here though, because the toe plus is about 3 meters wide, whereas in where we were this morning, it was like less than a meter wide. So
Yeah.
It feels a bit more open here.
Yeah. So we found Penkridge. Penkridge is nice. Penkridge was nice
Cool.
last time we
I
were
don't
there.
remember it at all.
No, not really.
I can't remember what we more. No, we did more.
I think we passed pretty much right through this one.
Can't remember.
Yeah. But as you can see, it's kind of gray and kind of dark
Cold.
and getting darker quickly and cold. So we're going to get inside, get in front of a stove, and warm up.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up. Comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe to Minimalist Maximal Velocity for our heist video. One of these in a while.
It was supposed to snow today or last night. It didn't snow, but it's cold enough to snow.
Well, I was outside walking George,
Last night.
and there were tiny little flakes, like sort of fluttering around little. So it was like definitely felt of snow, but snow didn't quite happen. But it's definitely cold. It is the day after, 2 days after, 2 days after. It's a little unclear exactly when the lockdown
Ended.
ended. Was replaced by the 3-tier system again. The 3-tier system. Okay. I was feeling a little peckish, so I went upstairs and had some Fritos. Breakfast of champions.
Cool.
Fried sort of corn product. Sort of. Hit record again.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
No change there.
Hey, bud. Let's party.
We interrupt this program to annoy you and make things generally irritating.
Have you lost your mind?
You ready?
Yeah.
Let me get my second water going here.
Yeah, I've got my water going.
Okay, here we go. Ooh. Oh, damn.
Was it not very good?
No, it was quite tasty, but it was kind of like, you eat some kind of like fried chip product or something, and the little bits just sort of get stuck all over the inside of your throat and inside your mouth.
Yeah.
Then you go to swallow and it's like, hi, I'm something dry that's going to irritate against the back of your throat. How does that feel? It's like, not great.
Not great at all.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
When you're ready.
And welcome back to the MyMac.com podcast. This is the second part. And, typically when we do this show, we do this part of the show, we talk about various things that are going on with Apple, with new processes, new programs, new equipment. But since December, there hasn't really been a whole lot of that, Gaz. So we're kind of playing catch as catch can with finding stuff to talk about. And because I spent the latter part of yesterday trying to figure out a process that has taken me literally years to figure out, and I just found a solution. And once I found that solution, it was like, oh yeah, here we go. Bing, 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 bing. And that's exactly how it sounded, by the way. Bing, 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 bing.
I like applications that do that.
Yeah. Well, it's like, if you look at the programming, it's like go to, run, bing, 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 stop, go to, repeat. And it just does that over and over again.
That's great.
I would pay big money for a program like that.
And have done.
I have constantly. It's like, who made this? Somebody in Peru. And I can't do a Peruvian accent. So, yeah, there it is. So what we're going to talk about this week.
When you say we
are going to talk about it, but it's going to be mostly stuff I say. So here's, and like everything else, you start off with a problem. So let's define the problem.
Okay.
Guys,
I was just going to say, it's not difficult.
Yeah, but you see, there's only one thing that will solve that problem.
Yeah.
And that may take years.
Yeah.
To resolve.
Or just a good car accident.
Yeah. Or, somebody from the Peruvian Secret Service. What I have been trying to do pretty much since I started podcasting, there were certain goals that I had that I wanted to get done. I wanted to get good, clean audio, which I pretty much have. I wanted to be able to do video along with the audio, which we have figured out and have had for a while. I wanted to be able to push that onto various sites and do that live. And that as well has been taken care of. The problem has been getting not only video and audio up to various services, but also to be able to interact with an audience, assuming I ever get an audience. So that's a problem for another day. So one of the ways that
one problem at a time.
One problem at a time. One of the ways that you get an audience is you give them a chat room so that they can speak to you and tell you the stuff that they like, the stuff they didn't like, so on and so forth. And you can do that if you live stream into YouTube. And that's pretty much all, that's the only place that you're going to go. But not everybody lives in YouTube. Some people live in Facebook. Some people live in YouTube. Some people live, maybe they want to go directly to your website.
And
or maybe you want to
Peru.
direct them to your website. Some people, what was that?
I said, and some people live in Peru.
Some people do. Some people do live in Peru, and they all hate me right now. So trying to get all that together has been very, very difficult. And what I want to do is I want to talk about some of the tools that I have put into place and acquired in one way or another. I guess I should be doing this solo until I bring you in. There we go. One of some of the various tools that I use in order to do live casting and push that up to various sites and, the microphones and all the rest of that. So here's the setup, and it is still complicated. The parts of it have gotten much easier, and it starts with StreamYard, which is kind of what we're using right now. Now, StreamYard is not a sponsor of the show, and I haven't approached them to be a sponsor of the show, and I don't expect them to ever be a sponsor of the MyMac Podcast. However, of all the services that I've tried to use for streaming, and this was mostly related to the stuff I was doing with the Mac of the Future livecast, done on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you talk to David Ginsburg and Warren Sklar, they can tell you just how hard it was to get something that worked and worked consistently. And StreamYard, because it's all browser-based, seems to work, at least for now, better than a lot of the other things that I've tried. And the nice thing about StreamYard is it also will play relatively well with others. So I could have used OBS, Open Broadcasting Source or System, however that goes, which is free, but it's much more difficult to use in this setup. So I'm basically using StreamYard's base interface to make all this work. Now, for video, I currently use a Sony mirrorless A5100 camera and a Meek. I don't even know how it's pronounced. It's a 25 millimeter add-on lens that cost me about $80. And for audio, I use a Heil PR40 microphone that's going through a DBX 286, which is a preamp and also does some processing. And from there, that's going out to the Behringer UMC 404 HD, which I've talked about before. And that has the USB connection that goes into the computer. Once it's in the computer, then that goes into Rogue Amoeba's loopback for audio. And of course, both Gaz and I also use Rogue Amoeba's Farrago for all the sound clips and stuff that we do. But loopback is the way that I get audio from all these different programs into other programs. And for the most part, it works relatively flawlessly. But there are costs that are involved with all of this. For example, StreamYard is about, if you get the yearly plan, it's about $240 a year. There's also, I guess there's no other related, was like subscription costs that are part of this part of what it is that I do. You've got Rogue Amoeba's Loopback, which is a one-time charge of $99 until they update it. Then they say, oh, you're going to buy it again. Then there's also Farrago, which is about $50. The A5100 Sony camera was $400. The lens was $80. The DBX 286S is about $200. The Behringer 404 HD interface is about $140. So for yearly costs, it's about $240 for StreamYard, and one-time cost for gear about $970, which doesn't include all the other things that I bought in order just to try them out. Actually, before I go any farther, now you have a much simpler setup, Gaz.
I do.
You do, and you've used it for a very, very long time, and I've gotten a lot of crap from you and a lot of crap from Tim Robertson for the exact same reason, because you guys found a solution that works and sounds good. And while I just keep floundering like a flounder. So what is it that I'm floundering flounder. So how is it, what is it that you use to get audio and video into your computer?
So I use a Logitech, I think it's a 920 camera.
Yes.
Which actually during lockdown, I also used for work to not only stream a video, but I used it to stream audio as well, because it's got mics on each side of the camera. And I think the audio from it isn't too bad, but obviously if you're looking for really good deep bass and
you're not going to get that from a webcam.
You're not going to get that from webcam. But so I use that, and I think that's good enough. I also push it through Eyeglasses, which is a software application, which I've had for years and years, and it just allows.
That's like about $30 or $40.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I've had it so long, it I can't tell you how much it cost me then, but it wouldn't have been that much. I wouldn't have thought, because I'm a skinflint. I don't like spending money. But that allows you to do some adjustments with color and zoom effects, as it were, like that. So you can crop stuff out, but you can do presets and all sorts of other stuff. I think there's another application as well, which actually changes the position of your eye line, so it looks like you're looking at the camera all the time, and I can't remember what that is. So I use Eyeglasses. I use the Logitech 920 for video, but that's it. That gets plugged, so the 920 is plugged straight into the Mac Mini or whichever Mac I had, and then obviously it goes through Eyeglasses, which I then push out to whatever video application we are using to connect, whether it be Skype or whatever the application is. You choose.
It's changed quite a bit over the last year.
Yeah, but basically you can choose the video camera. That's a relatively easy. So my my Rode Podcaster, this is actually a new one, because my last one actually it went kaput. I don't know if you remember, but I was on a show.
You had that for like 10 years, 12 years. You had that microphone for a really long time.
Yeah, I had it from about 2008. So I did have it for 11, 12 years, definitely.
Yeah.
So it got battered around quite a bit, but not that much. I mean, but it did get moved around a lot. So
but that's a big, heavy tank-like microphone.
It is. So I replaced it with another one, and that's what I'm using now. And that's a USB mic, which goes straight into the Mac. I say straight into the Mac. It goes into a USB hub and then straight into the Mac, but ideally it's straight into the Mac. And that actually, I use Loopback to combine my Farrago input. So I've got Farrago as well. So I combine those so that I can put both of those into Audio Hijack. So they're combined, so I can hear both of the things. That's the problem. That's where it gets a bit complicated. If you just got a mic and you just want to speak, it's relatively straightforward. But if you want to start attaching other audio into your stream, that's when it gets a bit more complicated, and when you need clever
speaking
software.
To other people that aren't on site.
There are cheap ways of doing it and freer ways of doing it, but actually they're not straightforward. And if you're not an audiophile and you just want this stuff to work, then don't go down those routes. So mine's a little bit, so I haven't got all the Behringer stuff that you've got, all of these, and plus I've only got one mic. I know that you've got many mics, but let's say all of your mics.
I maybe have one more mic.
you know, all of your mics clubbed together, you can only use one at a time. So you've got a
Exactly.
mic, but you obviously then you're doing your streaming with a bit more of a higher quality camera. And I think you can tell the difference. Actually, you can tell the difference on the stream between.
Honestly,
two
can I tell you something? Chances are, if you put a couple of lights on either side of you, like one over here and one over here, you would probably, because all of this is just 720. It's not even
this is just
definition.
using, so that is an LED light that I've got there, but it's a tungsten type. It's not tungsten, because you can't have an LED tungsten. I get that, but it's putting out a tungsten like light, an amber light, but it is LED. But I really need to have two lights either side of me. Then this camera would be able to pick up a much more quality. Or it could output a much more quality image. I agree with you. So just a couple of lights would do that. And during the day, obviously, you couldn't tell the difference. This is a really good quality. But as soon as you start getting to twilight, which we are here, then obviously it starts to struggle a little bit more. So I agree with you on that point. But
what I should probably, I wish I would have thought of this before we started, because I've got the 930, which is, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I should have plugged that in, set it up so that we could do a side-by-side comparison, but I'm not going to do that right now.
No, don't. So, and I then just push that out, and then obviously I pick up using loopback, combining the audios together. That means I can then pick up those when I'm obviously on any of the software to make sure I've got the right input going into the system so that you can actually hear me. So yeah, that's what I use.
Okay. So the next part of this, which we don't do on this show, at least not yet. And if you guys have any interest at all in us doing this show live, let us know. And we'll talk about it, and may or may not still do it. We don't know. But for some of the other things that I do, I use StreamYard. I restream it to YouTube as well as Facebook. And my VertShark website. That's what I wanted to do. And actually, I for the Mac to the Future livecast, I send it to two different places. I send it to my personal account, and I also send it to the Mac to the Future community page. Which, if you're a Mac fan, check out the Mac to the Future Facebook community. Assuming that you're on Facebook, it's a good group. It really is.
Yeah, it is. I say I don't interact in that group that much, but I do see lots of stuff. I do watch it, and I see lots of stuff going through. So if you're,
we're not all just like Apple fanboys, and it's not all just about, oh, well, you have to do this and you have to do that. We have some fun. We have some fun in there too. Yeah. So what I wanted was the ability to send my audio, my video, and whoever it is that I'm doing a show with to my personal website, and to have comments on that site from Facebook or from YouTube or from wherever. And fortunately, StreamYard allows you to have comments come in from both of those, whatever sources that you have listed. If there's an API that allows for comments to come in, which both Facebook and YouTube have, then they'll come into here as well. So you can get them all combined. So that's what I wanted to have on the vertshark.com website. So if somebody wanted to go to my website instead of going to YouTube or instead of going to Facebook, they could, and then they could interact with it there and make comments and all the rest of that. That's the part that's really hard. Not so much, and you would think that the audio and the video would be hard, but using the free version of this plugin that I'm about to tell you about, you can do that. It's very easy to do. And that's the Embed Plus for YouTube Pro, or for YouTube WordPress plugin. And you can have whatever it is that you're doing live in YouTube, or if you just want to embed a video from YouTube onto your website, this plugin will do it. But if you spend $40, which is how much the pro version of this plugin goes, you can also have that, have that interaction of comments and all the rest of that also be on your website. And it does work. So to add into the costs, you've got this plugin, which is $40, and that's a one-time charge. Then you have the website and hosting, which can be a little bit more. That's about $120 a year. So the way all this works, and it's not a simple process, it is still complicated. So I set up the StreamYard stream, which is what Gaz and I are doing right now. I push that out from StreamYard to YouTube. And then once it's in YouTube, then I use this plugin, the Embed Plus Pro plugin, in order to push it from YouTube over onto the website. And using StreamYard, because StreamYard also has an RTMP.
RTMP?
Yeah, process, which is
What's RTMP?
Real time. I wish I could tell you, but I can't. But it's basically what you used to have to do with Facebook and YouTube and all these other places. You'd have to set up what's called an RTMP key. So both your site with all of your stuff and the site that you're streaming to.
Real-time messaging protocol.
Yes, thank you. So that would allow you to have your audio and your video streaming from wherever you are to someplace else that allowed it. So there has to be that mesh between the two different services. And OBS does a lot of that as well. Like when I used to use OBS, that's what I would have to do. I'd have to get an RTMP key from Facebook every single time I would want to live stream to Facebook. And frankly, it was a royal pain in the ass, which is why I stopped using OBS.
OBS?
Yeah.
Just for people. Open broadcasting
software. Right. And it's completely free. And it is amazing software. You can do some real like high level broadcasting, professional broadcasting stuff with OBS if you know how to set everything up and if you have a way to trigger all of these different things that you want to have happen. And that has been part of the problem over time. And I used to use another program, which I won't mention here, which also worked pretty well, but with the move to the M1, there has been some disruption in that particular software, which again, I'm not going to say what it is. And they're working very, very hard on restoring that. The other problem is what I used to use to bring audio and video from one site or from somebody else's house to me was this protocol called NDI, network. I can't even think of what NDI stands for, but it's basically what all these different companies use in order to move audio and video from one source to another source through satellites or however they have it worked out. And it works really well when it works, but so far the tools for the M1 and Big Sur, it's just not there yet. But that's basically it. So I've got regular costs of roughly $400 a year to do all these things that I do. And then I've got the one-time costs for gear, which is roughly about $1,000 is what I've spent on the gear that I'm currently using right now. Not including, of course, the monitors. Or the lights.
Can I just say, folks, this isn't a sob story. This is just facts for you.
Yeah. This is what I do. Because I got like 15 to 20 microphones because I'm stupid that way. But
you've got a microphone fetish.
I seem to. And the thing is, I look for solutions to problems I don't even have, or I look for solutions to problems that I may have. Like, for example, and maybe I'll talk about this some other time.
You look for solutions for problems you haven't got.
Yeah. I look for solutions for problems that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I've had various types of like portable podcasting kits. Gaz saw like one version of it when we were in at Woodstock. which I guess we should probably mention real quickly here. It's going to be virtual again this year. And if you go to Macstock Conference and Expo.com, and you should, because it's even virtual, it's still a really, really good show. And check out what Mike is doing to get 2021 up and running. Unfortunately, because there was no guarantee that things were going to be open by July, there was just no way to start setting things up with the school that the conference is held in, or set up deals with hotels and all the rest of that, without knowing for sure that everything was going to be open. And there was no way to tell that. So check out Macstock Conference and Expo.com for more information about this year's virtual event. And please do. And tell them Guy sent you.
Yeah, because what?
Well, no particular reason. Absolutely no reason. So,
very good.
Yeah. So, I guess that's gonna do it.
Plus, everybody, if you want to do this stuff, there's also time.
Setting everything up. Yeah, I
and
should have
doing your
that.
content as well, and then editing.
Yep.
And then correcting something because it didn't go right. Yes. It's good fun. We do it. Guy does it because he loves doing it.
I do. I don't make anything doing this. I spend a lot more than I have ever brought in doing this since 2005, I think, when I started with doing snippets, or not snippets, doing
hey,
segments.
you've had, what did we work it out at, about 1,500 hours of therapy from me?
Yeah. Well,
I haven't charged you a penny. That's all free.
But who's really paying here, Gaz? Who's really
I'm paying.
Are you nodding your head?
I am.
Hit it. Gaz's tips.
Most included.
Gaz's tips.
Most included.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip.
Real quick ones. 2 in the Finder. Shift, Command, and period, or full stop, that is, if you're in the UK, to show any hidden files or folders in macOS. Now, there's lots of hidden files and folders in there. Some of them you really shouldn't know about, and some of them occasionally you do need to try and find. Well, I think naturally, by the normal standard process, is that you can't see these files and folders. However, if you press Shift, Command, and period, you can see those hidden folders. If you press Shift, Command, and period again, they disappear. One other quick one. Shift, Command, P in Finder toggles on the preview
I'm
pane.
such a child.
I bet you are. I can imagine what you're doing at the moment. So
Not peeing, I'll tell you that.
In last week, I mentioned when you can go through files and press the space bar to bring up the preview bar, to bring up the preview. Well, there's a preview pane that opens on the right-hand side in the Finder. And if you press Shift Command P in the Finder, it toggles it on and off.
Whoops.
And it's really quite useful. Just like I've just been toggled on in the video next to Guy.
And if you have a preview pane and when you Shift Command P, go see a doctor.
Yes, I'm nodding my head.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
I am a
That's
child.
the end of
There's absolutely
tips.
no-
That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
Except when I'm wrong.
Yeah. I have a for pick's sake this week,
Cool.
Gaz.
Cool. I've just opened up the App Store over here to see whether it's a similar price, and it seems to be. So rattle on, and I'll ask you some questions about this particular piece of software.
Now, come on, StreamYard. I have been using this program in all of its various versions for years to do the not the show notes, to do the graphics for the MyMac podcast and a bunch of other things that I do, because it provides you with a lot of power for the basic tools that 90% of people want and use. And this particular version of Acorn, which is Acorn 7, it's in the Mac App Store. Currently, it's $20. Regular price is $40.
It's £20 in the UK.
Okay. It's a great basic image editor if you don't need all the bells and whistles. The big change with this one apparently is M1 and Big Sur compatibility, and they made some big changes in the UI, and it's better than it was before. So check that out. Going over to the Mac App Store, look for the link in the show notes. And if you need an image editor, this is a good one to get. I would pick this over Pixelmator for the stuff that I do.
Really, over Pixelmator?
Mm-hmm. Just easier to use.
Can you do layers in it at all?
Yes,
you can.
Yes, you can.
Cool. I think I tried Acorn probably years ago when I first went onto a Mac, and never really stuck with it because I never really had any need to use it. But I do occasionally have use for an image editor and to do stuff with layers, etc., and to do a bit more refinement than I do in photos. And I do have Pixelmator, but I sometimes find Pixelmator just a bit too heavy for the sort of
work same thing with like Photoshop.
Yeah.
You've got all this capability, and if you know how to use it, you can do some amazing things.
Yeah.
The problem is getting through the layers and layers and layers of all the palettes and choices and all that. And if you make one little mistake, and everything you've done is like complete crap.
I know that you've mentioned it before, and I know lots of people actually talk about Acorn. So if it's on offer and it's the latest version, it's in the Mac App Store, so you can share it with other people as well. So they keep updating it, and I know that Flying Meat, I've heard of Flying Meat many times. I think they don't just do this, they do other software. So a couple. I might just click the button, Guy.
Well, the thing that I didn't like about Acorn in the past was you fired up, you got your image, and then you had like these floating toolbars all over the place. And it was real easy to sit there and say, oh, okay, well, I want to do this now. Where did I put that? And then you'd look and you'd finally find it, but it was a pain in the neck. Whereas now they've kind of combined everything into a single window. All the things that you typically do are going to be right there. So the UI, the user interface is much better. And it was worth it to me for the $20 that I spent on it.
I might just go for it. Cool. Good. Excellent. I like it.
Did we get some email feedback? Or is that old?
No. So I don't know why, but Mr. Apter sent a picture to me, and I don't know whether it's for the show or not, Mr. Apter, but I'm going to talk about it. He sent a picture of himself in a very strong pose in a green t-shirt with a blue shield, a white, some sort of animal, looks like a dog, I'd say, and it says below it, AFC Richmond.
So that's related to Ted Lasso?
I think it might well be.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. I didn't even realize. Oh, well, listen to me. It's like, well, there's a show that's popular and someone is selling stuff related to that show.
Well, I'm not sure whether it's related but he's got AFC Richmond. It's actually got 1897 on it. So I've now got to try and work out whether there actually is a football club in the UK called AFC Richmond, which there may well be.
I'm going to guess no, or at least not that exact name.
Well, it could be. It could well be, because Richmond is a borough. So it could, an AFC, they always go, they often call themselves AFC. And then
American Football Club.
No, well, interestingly, and I really don't know whether I want to get into this or not. Actually, it's Hampton and Richmond Borough Football Club, but football clubs in the UK used to go AFC because they used to be known as athletic football clubs.
So not American.
No,
athletic.
No. So anyway, Mr. Apter sent that picture in, and it's a very good pose. Well done, Mr. Apter.
I don't know if you knew this, Gaz. I was once part of the NFC Richmond Club,
which is
the non-athletic football club.
Yeah, that doesn't.
We didn't do much, we just kind of lay there on the ground and wheeze after running a couple of steps.
And we also got Twitter feedback. Well, I don't know whether you saw this or not, because I'm not sure whether you were actually in. I think it was sent just to me, but our good friend Nibs,
yes, said,
and he sent this to me, and it did make me laugh. And when I remember this going back to last week's show, he's put in quotes, was he in Greece? ? End of quotes. Now that was funny, said Nibs.
Yes.
Guy not getting it, 10 times funnier.
And I think they talked about that on the Mac and Forth show. And it was as soon as they started to talk about it, I started to think back to that conversation. And it was like, yeah, I totally didn't get the joke.
Yeah.
And I just it's completely straight face.
Yeah, I know. You just went straight over your head.
Yeah.
It made me chuckle. So I thought, and it's times like that when some people will they've got to then clarify it and make sure that you understand what the joke is. But I think sometimes it's better that you just let it go.
Yeah, because then you can laugh at me again later. Perfect.
Anyway,
here's Gaz. All of the years we've been doing this show, have I ever shied away from laughing at myself?
No,
never.
No. Neither should we.
No, because you know what? Every once in a while, we're all idiots. Own up to your idiocy.
Yeah. Your idiocracy.
Yeah, idiocracy.
Wish I could speak.
That's another word. Another new word we got for this
Another
week.
new word. That's 3 new words this week.
Yeah, what were the first 2? Don't know. We're idiots.
Who cares?
Yeah. So, speaking of all of those things I talked about earlier, if you'd like to help support me, patreon.com/MacParrot, coffee, ko-fi.com /MacParrot, paypal.me/MacParrot. And there's been a couple people lately who have very generously sent me a little bit of stuff over there in PayPal. Thank you. Thank you also very much. One of them actually was because I helped him out on YouTube with some audio stuff. So, and again, if, I have a couple of videos that kind of demystify audio hijack and loopback and things like that, and how to make those programs work and how to make them work with other programs. And there's no charge for any of that stuff. Just go watch the videos, and it's still it's still relevant based on the current versions of the software and how it operates. So go check this out over in YouTube. VertShark, which we'll talk about that later, I guess. VertShark is the is what to search for over in YouTube if you want to see those videos. Gaz, if people wanted to get a hold of you and say, why don't you stop Guy when he starts talking about stuff we haven't talked about yet, how would they do it?
There really is no point in trying to stop you, because the comedic value that there could come out of that
it's high. It's way up there.
It's way above my head. Way above my pay grade.
I'm like 2 meters, and it's way above my head.
Absolutely. Anyway,
I don't know how many stone I am.
Will you let me finish? Hang on a minute. My watch is just sending me a yes. Yes, I'm nearly at a perfect week. Thank you, watch. Send an email to gaz@mymac.com. That's GAZMAY. No, it's not. It's GAZ@mymac.com. Thank you. You can also send a tweet on the Twitters to Gazmaz at Twitter. What is wrong with me? That's twitter.com/Gazmaz. GAZMAZ. You can also
have you confused cars.
You can also send a Twitter to both Guy and Gaz on the Twitters, twitter.com/Guy and Gaz, GUY. We're getting into the rounds of Zcar's music we've never been before. GUYANDGAZ.
Cars.
You can also send an email to feedback@mymac.com, FWDBACK. FWDBACK@mymac.com. Wow. I don't know about.
Wait, hold on. I screwed up.
No, I think it was me, to be perfectly honest with you there. Anyway, now
like
because Guy doesn't.
Guy was paid at 75
No,
grand.
because he doesn't. You need to send in them some communication somehow.
Do we know it was a guy?
Who cares?
Guy says.
What does he say? What does he say?
No fooling.
And what does he say before that?
His name was Guy.
He does.
He does.
Yeah. What is he?
He's the guy.
Ah, yeah. What? Who?
Guy.
Yeah. Because
Guy's the one.
and
You remember Guy?
absolutely. What happens if you want
An email from Guy.
Or what you have to do to
Well,
get
you're
an
gonna-
email from God.
you're gonna
I'm gonna
tell
tell
us.
You. I'm going to tell you right now. You would send that to Guy, talking like William Shatner, at mymac.com. You can also contact me via the Twitters. I have 2 different Twitter accounts because I just do.
Why not?
Yeah, sure. It's Macparrot and also Vert Shark. And then right there. Yeah, no more. You can also contact us via Skype. I already told you about all the different ways you can send me money or not. We'll still keep doing the show, whether you do or not. And that's not a threat, by the way. It's not a threat. It's a promise. Total promise. You would call us on our Skype telephone number, which is 1 or +1 outside the United States, 703-436-9501. That number again, Gaz, is 1 or +1 outside the United States, 703-436-9501. Or take that 1 and that +1 and just crumple it up, throw it away, and go right to the Skype app and just dial 703-436-9501. That's all you got to do. And
That's all you got to do.
it's all you got ever. It's all you have to do ever. Just call that number all the time. It's such a busy number.
Move on, Guy. Move on.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Thank you. Thank you all so very, very much for joining us today here on the MyMac.com podcast. Not live, but we really, really do appreciate the fact that you have
Does that
taken
mean
the
we're
time.
unlive?
We are like the living dead. Yes.
Right.
We're like zombies. This is the Z-cast is what it really should be called. So, Gaz, I think that even though we're not live, we're good enough. And that even though we're not live, and it's probably better this way, we're smart enough. And that even though we're not live, Wilf likes us. Woof, 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 woof.
Woof, woof, woof.
And as he wags his little tail and runs down, I have seen those videos. They are so cute. He is such a cute little pup.
He is. Zabanvo ida igrate sus zvuk stiga da moshete die sigo posvit light.
Yeah, that's the difference between POSV light and POSV heavy.
Video to na shred no Nevo e po ivitino ot audio to.
Very good.
What do you call a wandering caveman?
I don't know. Gaz, tell me, what do you call a wandering caveman?
A Neanderthal. Did you get it? End.
That was good. Stop. Und. Shave. God, we've gone almost 2 hours today.
What do you mean almost?
1 hour, 54 minutes of recorded. Doesn't mean that it's been that entire time. What time is it? Oh my God, it's almost 3 o'clock. We started at 12:30. Well, it was 4:30 your time.
1:30.
When do you guys go to summertime?
Soon.
Is that next week?
Let me have a look.
I always thought you guys changed before we did.
I think it kind of lined up a little bit recently, but then it's going out of GMT to BST. Okay, here we go.
Actually, I'm going to stop recording the video.
When did the